Be one, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Black Logic. We have to understand that foundational Black Americans have always been America, even before America was America. Now, I know a lot of people may not understand that, but as foundational Black Americans, we have long been told that we are not truly American, that we should go back to our country, that we should go back to Africa, even though we don't have any experience, any relation, any culture stemming from Africa. T is quite the opposite. From contributing to major wars and building the very foundation of this nation to inventing groundbreaking technology and excelling in various fields, as foundational Black Americans, we have played a significant role in shaping America, despite facing discrimination and being told to go back to Africa. We have a unique history and an identity that is deeply rooted in this country. And that is what our people and those tether coons and white supremacists need to understand. If anything, Black Americans are more American probably than any other group. See, being American is about embracing people. It is supposed to be a country that was created for diversity, that all people are welcome, and recognizing the unique experiences that different groups bring to the table. Even though that this country was built off slave labor, it was built off a socialist system that Britain has created and brought over European peasants to then start a new colony. See, but this is about power. However, the stereotypes may come and the prejudice that often exclude us from being seen as truly American. This challenge has deep roots in history and continues to impact perceptions today. They would tell us, oh, slavery happened so long ago. Jim Crow happened so long ago. Reconstruction happened so long ago. So why are systemic issues still affecting Black Americans today? Why is the perception that all Black Americans are stupid, that all Black Americans are criminals, or all Black Americans are unmarried and having baby mamas with pookies and rabies and etc.? We should take a moment to explore the rich history of our people in the very shaping of this nation. Because we understand when Frederick Douglass gave his speech about what is 4th of July to the slave. Do not forget, family, when you go out and you're firing your fireworks and you're putting food on the grill and you're celebrating the 4th of July, the independence from the British, our ancestors were still in shackles. Our ancestors were still in chains. Because from fighting civil rights to contributing to various aspects of our culture, of the American culture, we are the culture. See, Black Americans, we have left a very indelible mark on this society because throughout history, we have played a very pivotal role in defining what it means to be American. From the civil rights movement to the arts and sciences and beyond, our contributions have been very instrumental in shaping this nation, especially its identity. See, all these other groups of people that hear, that wag their finger and name blame and get into a side of the systematic tropes of the white dominant society, the white supremacist society that derives from the dominant society. They want to be white adjacent. They want to live with inside these stereotypical narratives that have been portrayed and put on Black Americans. And the thing about this, family, they don't know who we are. They don't know what we have done. They don't know what we are doing today. We have always been an integral part of the American fabric. See, we embody the values of resiliency and innovation and patriotism, proving time and time again that we are as American as anyone else. That is one thing they would not like to point out. That is one thing they would not like to show. They don't want to show that, family. They don't want to show how Black Americans have fought in every major battle in this country, even for our own freedom. But see, what people don't understand about Abraham Lincoln, he stated in a letter that if I could win the war without freeing the slaves, I would. Point blank paraphrasing. It states here that Black Americans have fought for the United States throughout its history. Throughout its history, defending and serving a country that in turn denied them their basic rights as citizens. This is coming from PBS.org. Despite policies of racial segregation and discrimination, Black American soldiers have played a significant role from the colonial period to the Korean War. It wasn't until the middle of the 20th century that Black American soldiers began to receive the recognition and equality they deserve. I want you to put every other group in the circumstance that you put Black Americans in. Then have them to reside in that country and see how long it takes them to get back on their feet in order for them to be decreasing the wealth gap and do just as good as the dominant population in that country. That's what I want you to do. No. I want you to take East Indians and I want you to put them over in France. And I want you to shackle and enchain them and brutalize and torture and rape them. This is all hypothetical, family. I don't want this to happen for real. Okay, stay with me. I'm giving you a picture here. This is what I want to happen. Okay, hypothetically. No, think of it as a fantasy. I don't want it to happen, but I want you to picture it happening. And enslave them for 250 years and have France be built up off of free labor and segregation and discrimination and systematic oppression. And throughout all those times, reenact all the massacres that Black Americans have been through. The bombing of our Black Wall Streets, our Black business districts, of being boxed out of loans, low interest loans, instead of subprime loans. Us being having the same opportunities as every other group. No, take other people through the same thing you took us through, and then see how long it takes them with these racist stereotypical laws that were implemented, and now there seem to be released slowly but surely, but we're still not there yet. Yeah. Have a group of Chinese people being enslaved by the Dutch. Yeah. Have, what else can we name, family? What other group can we name? We name some Asians. Yeah, take Hispanics, no matter what country they're from, and push them down to Australia. Take them down to Australia and have them go through the same thing that Black Americans went through. And I want you to, this will be an experiment. I want you to see how long it takes them to decrease the wealth gap, to alleviate systematic oppression and racism, to not be called these ill-will names that is very derogatory. See, no other group has been what we've been through, but they would tell us, well, slavery was such a long time ago. Jim Crow was such a long time ago. But day in and day out, would it be police brutality or discriminatory practice in housing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? I mean, family, we have been through it all and we're still going through it all. But they would have you that we have not made any strides, that we did contribute to society, that we haven't played a pivotal role in building this nation. See, one of the most honorable things that you can do for your country is serve your country in the Army, to serve your country in the Marine Corps, to serve your country in the Air Force, in the Navy, in the Coast Guard, which Black Americans have been doing. What Black Americans have been doing, even myself. So who's truly more American? So when these white racists, when these non-white racists tell you to go back to your country, see, they're trying to separate you from what your ancestors have built, for what your ancestors have pretty much bled for. See, we have been here prior to 1619, and we understand that we didn't gain independence from the British until 1776, so America wasn't even really America. But even in that family, our people has a record predating 1526. See, 1526 is the date that Foundation Black Americans used because that is when the first slaves arrived between North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, part of that eastern seaboard, where 100 slaves were brought over by some Spanish conquistadors. And when those slaves rose up and rebelled, the Spanish conquistadors wrote in their records that the Black Africans revolted and rebelled and fled into and ran into the bushes where people who looked similar to them. That's how we know that there were already blacks here in America prior to even 1526. Let's read on. Black Americans were trained in elite positions never offered previously, such as the Air Force, and some units were desegregated for the first time at the Battle of the Bulge. You know why? They was getting their ass whooped at the Battle of the Bulge. That's why they needed us to come help. Yeah. You want to segregate warriors from the same nation. See, family, what you guys don't understand, this nation was so racist. And I say was because it was definitely more racist than it is now. Okay, some people may argue that, but I digress. Where they separated black soldiers from white soldiers, where they separated all the soldiers from different races, mostly black, from participating in combat. We wanted to participate in combat, but no, they continue for us to want to be their servants. They wanted us to be their slaves. That's why we were the cooks, and that's why we were the logistic specialists, and we were doing all the non-combat. We were doing all the non-combat duties and MOSs in the military until they noticed how warrior breed we were. They should know this, because if they did their history, they will understand that majority of the black Africans that were brought over here on slave ships were from the warrior class of Africa, centuries beyond. It takes in just a few years, the Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard made significant advancements in the treatment of their black American personnel. Why am I keep saying black versus African? You know, and I know that there has been an ethno-genocide, an amalgamation of different people formed together to create Black Americans who are a different tribe than any other tribe outside of our hundreds of years ago roots from Africa. We are very, very different. We have different culture. We have different language. We have different slang. We have different style. We have different music. We have different food. Everything is different, and that is okay. You don't hear white Americans stating that they are European Americans. They just say they're American. We are American as well. And matter of fact, we're all American. The 1960s marked a major transformation for Black American citizens in the United States, because Black Americans served in all combat service elements alongside their white counterparts and were involved in all major combat operations, including the advancement of the United Nations forces to the Chinese border. Two Black American Army sergeants, Cornelius H. Charleston and William Thompson, earned the Medal of Honor, the highest award in the land that you can receive. See, the decades also marked the first major combat development of an integrated military to Vietnam. It took until the 60s where every facet of the military was integrated, meaning desegregated. Wow. This is the history that they don't want you to know. This is the history that they don't want you to show. And not only should you know, but you should be teaching your children as well. That's what we have to understand here, family. They will lie to you constantly, over and over again, because far too often we hear racist tropes questioning our place in this country. What have Black Americans contributed to America? What have you guys done? And you ask yourself, what have we invented? What have we innovated? Let's set the record straight, family, because foundational Black Americans have been very crucial in every major aspects of building and sustaining this country. Let's talk about the infrastructure. We built the roads, that's on record, the sewers, the railroads, the housing communities, even the iconic White House and numerous monuments standing in DC today. It's all in the record books. Go look it up. All of these things were constructed with our ancestors' blood, sweat, and tears. And when it comes to innovation, our ancestors and contemporaries have been nothing short of prolific. Think about it. The improvised and advancement of the traffic light by Gerd A. Morgan, or even with his invention of the gas mask, or his invention which saved countless lives during World War I. Family, they were using all sorts of gas and agents. And by the way of his invention of the gas mask, saved thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people. And speaking of wars, we have served valiantly in all the conflicts, from the Revolutionary War to present day engagement. And we have always fighting for a country that has yet to fully recognize our humanity. That's right, family. Some of them still think that we are walking and talking apes. But when we look at these different sectors, we look at these different industries, when it comes to culture and science and beyond, we have shined very brightly. Think about the notorious, the infamous, the famous George Washington Carver, who basically revolutionized agriculture with his work on crop rotation and the hundreds of uses he found for the peanuts. See, a lot of people just talk about the peanut. They keep talking about George Washington Carver and the peanut. Did you guys know about his crop rotation? That he revolutionized that? Did you know that he created a soybean, and out of soybean, he created plastic? Does anyone know that? What about Madam T.J. Walker, by the way of Annie Malone, became one of the first self-made millionaires in America with basically her hair products? Charles Drew. Don't forget about him in the blood plasma storage, which saved thousands of lives during World War II. See, not only did we participate, not only did we support, not only did we fight in all the major conflicts and battles, wars, we still have Black Americans creating and innovating things that assisted our soldiers in freeing our nation from tyranny, a possible dictatorships, and assisting people from other countries. Do we have to go into the prowess of our athletic ability? Because our athletes have represented this country with pride and excellence in the Olympics and all other sorts of international arenas. We have been bringing home medals and setting records, from Jesse Owens. Y'all remember Jesse Owens rather? He's the one who took home 4 gold medals, I believe, in the 1930, 36, 35, 36 games in Berlin, in Germany. I mean, even from Jesse Owens to Simone Biles, who Simone Biles, we understand, is dominating gymnastics today. And before her, it was Gabby Douglas, or I forgot some of these women's name in gymnastics, but we've been dominating this space because we have consistently shown the world what true excellence looks like, even through discrimination, even through police brutality, even through not receiving what is rightfully ours, reparation. And even people like, oh, you wasn't this slave, you wasn't this, get off your lazy butt, nigga, and go do something with yourself. That's what they would like to tell us. But see, they don't tell you all the things that we have done and how we are owed reparations. They're to speak to the racist narratives and tropes They're backed up their own narratives. But we have to look at this objectively. Because despite these contributions, we still face racist and discriminatory practice that is designed to marginalize us. They will tell us the reason why these things occur is because you guys are committing most of the crimes. You guys are committing most of the murders. Then when you look at statistics, it shows that when police monitor, when police engage with one community more than the other, their statistics rise. See, if they did over policing of white neighborhoods, if they did over policing of Asian neighborhoods, if they did over policing of Hispanic neighborhoods, the criminal statistics in their neighborhood would rise as well. There is no perfect community. There is no model minority. But they will have you to believe that. See, all of these things were designed to marginalize us. The call to go back to Africa is not just ignorant, it's an attempt to erase our history and our present in this land. Even to this day, our brother Tariq Nasheed made Microphone Check documentary that everybody should go check out. And we have people from the Caribbean, we have people from Jamaica, we have people from Africa stating that, oh, you in this group created hip hop 50-50. You have the Puerto Ricans. You and Puerto Ricans created hip hop 50-50. And Microphone Check is to discredit and show the true history of the creation of hip hop, which is very important. This is one of the reasons they will have us to go back. Thanks for everybody for joining me in this evening. Thanks for everybody for coming out. Because as Foundation of Black Americans, we have no direct history in Africa. See, we are a distinct group, and I stated this, that was formed from an ethnogenocide, an ethnogenesis, as you, of African slaves, and the black people who were already here prior from 1526. Well before the U.S. declared its independence in 1776. So are Black Americans even more American than those descendants of European peasants that came over in the mid 1718, early 1900s? Because when we think about it, laws and practices have continuously been used to oppress and exclude us from participation in society, even though all the contribution we made to the country. And we can call these things out, from the Black Code, Jim Crow laws, redlining, and more recently, as they continue to try to tell us, these quote unquote voter suppression laws. And the way they do this, family, they just divvy up your neighborhood. They split your neighborhood so the black vote won't be as strong. But the voting, you can go and vote, but the problem is the black vote is influence and power in the community local levels has been slipped because they're drawing these imaginary lines through neighborhoods. See, you and Missy, you guys live across the street from each other. But in order to divide and decrease the power in the black vote, I draw a line of counties. I draw a line of townships and cities to decrease who can vote in those local elections. So those are the things that we really need to worry about. As far as the federal and the national election, we have all the voting rights that we can possibly take, okay? And guess what, family? Voting for either side of the house, would it be the Republicans or the Democrats, has not helped Black Americans, okay? Have we made some strides? Very, very small, but we understand that non-Black people have benefited off of affirmative action more than us. They have benefited off of DEI more than us. They have benefited off of quote unquote CRT more than us. They have benefited on all of these things that were supposedly to assist and support Black folk. And these are the racist tropes that they throw us. Oh, you're a DEI hire. Well, we have statistics that show that DEI didn't significantly help Black Americans. So we determined that was a lie. Oh, where you had affirmative action, we showed you that all these immigrants coming over, whether they be illegal or legal, have benefited from affirmative action more so than Black Americans. And we determined that was a lie. That's what we have to do, family. We have to call it out over and over again. because all of this is an aim to maintain systematic inequality. See, some people don't like the word oppression. Oh, you've been oppressed, you've been suppressed. Keep talking about your oppression. Okay, what about systematic inequality? Making sure things are not equal, making sure that one group get more opportunity, more benefits, more support than the other group. So we just call it systematic inequality for the insecure folk in the room. Even despite we fought back, as they would state, the way they wanted us to, with landmark legislation like the Civil Rights Act of 1964, that again, that benefited white women and immigrants, as well as the Voting Rights Act of 65. But in some aspects, it pushed America closer to its stated ideals of equality and justice. But some people may argue it pushed us more far apart. Because here's the thing, family, civil rights don't have the term black in it, because some people say, well, you got civil rights. We all received civil rights. Okay, it was legislation that was applicable to all, not just Black Americans. Even today, foundational Black Americans, we are at the forefront of movements for justice and equality. Just a week or two ago, they had a rally for reparations, which is the second rally for reparations, right in my hometown, Washington, D.C., downtown near the mall. These are the things they don't want to be public. They don't want you to know about the organization and the unification of Black folk, those foundational Black Americans who are grassroots advocates, who are on the ground doing the work. And see, for far too long, we have been fighting for everybody. We have been rallying for everybody. We've been protesting for everybody. Well, family, we're delineating. We're delineating from them all. And we're starting to fight for ourselves. So when it comes to the great achievements of Black Americans, they ask, what have you done for America? We can throw it right back in their face, because as I stated before, family, from Gerrit Morgan with the traffic light to improving road safety and traffic management with that invention. Okay. Now, to this point, family, he invented the 3-light traffic light. There was a version over in Europe, if I'm not mistaken, that was just red and green. Go stop, and no in between. Go stop. And it took an intelligent Black man to say, hey, we need an indicator to let drivers know when to slow down. Do you know that in traffic collisions and accidents decreased 80% with the simple addition of a light? Just slow down. That's all you got to do. You don't got to rush through. Just slow down. What about the automated and automatic elevator doors by Alexander Miles? That happened back in 1887. And you know, one of the famous people I always mention is our sister Marion Van Brown with her home security system. To me, family, the reason why I keep bringing up Marion Van Brown is it was so revolutionary that she created the first home security defense system. Okay, but now you have all these companies that you have paid for their, different technology with the video door cam, with Ring and UFI and Google. You have all these out there. And I know I brought up Dr. Charles Drew with the blood bank, again, which saved, thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives during World War II. To our brother, Lonnie Johnson at NASA, who was an engineer who created the Super Soaker. And what about Frederick McKinley, who invented the refrigerator truck? Think about all these trucks on the road that is shipping produce and products and ice cream. Oh, that's right. We invented ice cream too. But I'm about to show you, family. We're going to go through this list very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Okay. And I know there's a lot we have done. I know. The white supremacists in the room, the white supremacists that may hear this, I know you may not believe that these dumb niggas came out here in shackles and chains, okay, got their freedom, built this country, built the roads, the sewers, the housing, the communities, the monument, the White House, the railroad. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then we modernized the very country that we built. Go figure that. Go figure all the wonderful things and think about the inventions that we don't have credit for because we were enslaved on these inventions, and their masters at the time took the credit of their patents as well. The folding cabinet bed, yeah, no one really cares about that. The potato chip, without guy George Crumb, everybody loves potato chips. Even if you don't like potato chips, you would like potato chips. You just know it goes right to your gut. The gas mask, the protective mailbox, the blood bank, ironing board, home security system, refrigerated truck. Those are some of the ones we talked about just now. What about the microphone? Okay, any content creator on any platform should be clapping their hands and stumping their feet for our brother Dr. James West. Okay, what about the color IBM PC monitor and gigahertz? We talked about Mark Dean, the tissue holder, the peanut butter, the laser fake hole with our sister Patricia Bath, the automatic gear shift, shout out, clothes dryer, George T. Simpson, dustpan, folding chair. Why do you think we created all of these inventions, family? Because unfortunately, we was all in these servitude jobs, all these servant-led jobs. So we made our lives easier, right? We were the ones that had these blue-collar jobs. But what about the golf tee and ice cream scooper and lawnmower and lawn sprinkling and Martin Talent, the mop, baby stroller, drag queens? What in the world? That threw me off, family. I don't know if we invented drag queens. That's some stuff out of Rome, Europe. That's what people need to go back and look. We did not invent drag queens, okay? And I might have to take a small break here because I might want to look that up. Let's see what else, family. We have chess, alphabet, medicine, airplane propeller, a biscuit cutter, coin changer, rotary engine, car coupler, letterbox, torpedo discharger. I mean, look at this list, family. I'm not going to read all of this, but the fountain pen, okay, cellular phone, Henry Sampson. A lot of people don't know that. They thought it came out of Israel. Your urinalysis machine. Why did he make that? All them brothers out there getting popped on the piss test. Player piano, the door stop, the doorknob. I mean, family, we have literally modernized America in the entire world. The bicycle frame, the kitchen table, the gas burner. Go look these up. I encourage you all to look them up. Whether you agree or disagree with the founding, because a lot of times people do not like the founding. But that's okay. And if we go back to some of the achievements that we made in war, you go to Crispus Attucks, right? He was the first person that was killed in the Boston Massacre of 1770, who was then considered the first American casualty in the fight for our independence. What about Doris Miller? Because during the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, Doris was a Navy cook who manned who manned a anti-aircraft gun and shot down enemy planes, becoming one of the first American heroes of World War II. I want to know, did they have training or did they just figure it out on the go? And we cannot forget our very honorable, very warrior bred Tuskegee Airmen, okay? Because that was the first Black American military aviators in the U.S. Army Corps. And believe me, they served with absolutely distinction. And at the end of the day, those white pilots who were racist or discriminatory, they said, I don't care, they black, white, or Asian. Those guys are great. Call the Red Wings out and have them protect these bomber planes. We got brothers and sisters down out here, and you're telling us they're black. We don't care. They're good at their job. Bring them out. Bring them out. And then when it comes, I'm jumping around here, family, because the things that just coming to mind. Henrietta Lacks. Y'all remember her. Because they used her cancer cells, which they took without her consent. But by doing so, that led to numerous medical breakthroughs, including the development of the polio vaccine. None of these people, none of these things are brought to light. What about Booker T. Watley, who developed sustainable farming techniques and introduced the concept of pick your own farm? There's just so many achievements in innovation and technology that we have contributed, from Jesse Owens to Simone Biles and Jackie Robinson and Wilma Rudolph. We have represented our country with flying colors. America is always part of the top 3 countries with the most gold medals. And in a lot of respects, even with medals in general. But they don't want to talk about that, family. They don't want to talk about the achievements that we have made. You know why? Because despite these monumental contributions, Black Americans still face racist and discriminatory practice that we understand that is designed to marginalize us. So, with that being said, I don't want no one to get their panties in a bunch. But we're not only American, those foundational Black Americans. Some would argue we are even more American than you, and you don't even know it.